Good evening, America. I am Eric Little. It is the 26th day of October, 2020. It is National Deployment Day. Since our president never deployed for anything, he wouldn't understand what that is, so he won't be celebrating it. There are 8 days left until the end of the general election, a week from tomorrow. I'm near my home in Southern California this evening, and this is the plain truth. So the president's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, basically surrendered yesterday. He admitted defeat. He said, we are not going to control this virus, and started talking about therapeutics and vaccines. And, I started thinking about that. Can you imagine? So he basically just admitted that their strategy is herd immunity, which would kill, 2.5, 3 million of us. And he wants a second term to continue herd immunity. The hospitals in the upper Midwest are being overwhelmed. In North and South Dakota, they're talking about having to ship patients out of state because they're just out of hospital rooms, out of beds, out of PPE. And his strategy is to make that noticeably worse so that we can get through it faster and we can open up our businesses. If there wasn't ever another reason, if you ever needed another reason to go vote. Now, as many of you know, I write movies and TV shows in my spare time. And I was thinking about, if I tried to sell this to Universal, they would laugh me off the lot as unrealistic. We have a government that is actively trying to kill its citizens. We have a president who not only is not doing anything about the pandemic, but he's going around personally infecting people and having super spreader events and rallies. Now you have Mike Pence, who 5 people in his inner circle, including his chief of staff, tested positive for COVID, and he's still doing campaigns. He's like, no, we're fine. Everything is good. Not only do we have a government actively killing its citizens, we have state governments and local elections boards forcing people to go vote in person, in long lines, and packed voting venues in the middle of a pandemic. I don't really understand these people. Holding on to power is one thing. Killing your fellow citizens to do it is another thing. Trump's a sociopath, so I understand where he's coming from. I don't understand the rest of these people. You have to know. You can read a poll just like we do. If you're Martha McSally or you're Cory Gardner, you know you're going to lose. You're not stupid. So why would you go along with killing your fellow citizens on the way out the door? Why would you vote for a Supreme Court justice who, as the reason she was chosen as one of her main goals was to try to get rid of Obamacare and throw 20 million people off of a healthcare system in the middle of a pandemic? Why would you go along with that when you know you're going to lose anyway? You're going to lose whether you vote for it or not. How about keep some dignity and some sense of do unto others, right? These are people that are supposed to be with the religious right that, we believe in God and we believe in faith and taking care of our citizens, yet you're voting for a person who's going to throw 20 million people off of health care in the middle of a pandemic. You're going to vote along with people who are actively attempting to make this worse. Listen, I said it before and I say it again. In 8 days, we get to vote. We get our say. But I want you to understand, it's not over the night of November 3rd, no matter how big the blue wave is, because there's 78 days between the election and the time that the new administration actually takes over. We have to be very careful here to not let him do incalculable amount of damage during that time because he's angry that he lost, because of whatever. We have to be very careful. He's already said he's going to fire the heads of the FBI, CDC, NSA, and CIA, because they are not loyal enough to him. I don't know if the people around him won't do it, but somebody needs to remind him that these people did not take an oath to him. They took an oath to the Constitution. Their job is to do their job to the best of their ability to serve the American public, not you. You know, I thought about today what my fellow citizens are going through. 80,000 a day getting COVID, and 40,000 a day being hospitalized. And I know we're a tribal country. I've said this before, but it's very difficult for me to imagine that, Republican or not, you can look at this and everything that's going on here, the pandemic, the unemployment, the racial strife, the lying, the weakening of our position in the world as Americans. I just don't understand. How can you look at this and say, yes, I would like 4 more years of that? These so-called undecided voter, what is not to be decided about? You want this to continue and get worse? Can you imagine a Trump unrestrained by worrying about getting reelected? You think it's bad now. These will look like the good old days compared to what the next 4 years will look like. You got to get out and vote. And they know it, and that's why they're doing everything they can to stop you from voting. A guy yesterday in Massachusetts tried, or I don't know if he did or not, he tried to light a drop box on fire. Not that it's going to matter in Massachusetts, but just is to tell you the extraordinary lengths that these people are willing to go through. And I'm heartened by the extraordinary lengths that our people are going through to overcome that. So I'm sorry it only took me a minute to vote in California. I feel sorry for you, but I'm with you. We're with you in spirit. Keep it up. Just wait in a line. Just hang in there. Just do whatever you got to do to get that vote counted. Because as they say, you're voting like your life depends on it. Because it actually does. And that is the plain truth. As I see it. And I am Eric Little. Get out there and vote. Good night.